Hey, here we are. Hello, everybody. Sorry, my screen was a bit blurry. How are we doing tonight? Oh, I'm really excited for this topic. How are we all feeling after our last? This is day five. Day five. Time is flying. Only 2 more days in my 7 days. I like in my latest one to recharge your health and well-being, because that's pretty much what we're doing here. Is going through all the topics that are going to help you live optimally, be your healthiest, happiest versions of yourselves. So I'm going to start tonight with a quote, and I'm also going to end with a quote. Send me some love hearts if you're joining me. Welcome for joining. For those that are jumping on, let me know if you're here. Any questions? You want to say hi? Just say hi. So today's quote I'm starting with today's topic on stress is: if you're searching for that one person or thing, hey, gorgeous people, to change your life, take a look in the mirror. So let's read that one again. If you're searching for that one person or thing to change your life, take a look in the mirror. So I'm just going to start you with that one. That's the first quote of the today. And what we're going to run through today is the effects of stress on your body, and then some tips, take homes, and then we'll finish with that quote. I'm loving finishing with the quote, leave you with something to feel good at the end of the session. We'll see how long this one takes today. It may go a little bit longer. We'll see how we do. So pretty much I think stress has been the most, it's not been underestimated, because we're now realizing that science is backing up that stress is like one of the biggest problems of our time. It's a huge, huge topic that we are all under a lot more stress than we've ever been. And I think that the effects that science is now backing, the detrimental effects that stress is having on our health. Yes, both physically and mentally. That's it, babe. It is huge. When we're under stress, our body releases a hormone called cortisol. So we've all pretty much heard of that. And most of us have. I feel like I was in a class saying, put your hand up if you heard from it. Send me a like if you've heard from it. We've all pretty much heard of cortisol. But how it used to work is we was using that flight or fight. So if we're in the middle of a scary situation where we're being chased by a lion or a bear if you're somewhere else, or whatever the case may be, it was like, do we stay and fight or do we run? In that case, we'd probably run. In another case, you might stay, depending on what scenario that was in the past. But unfortunately, now it's like, my boss is yelling at me, I'm late for work, I'm overwhelmed, I'm stressed, because coming from all ways that never used to be there, and that cortisol is being released so much more often, because those times of stress was so much less in the past. You wouldn't be being chased by a lion on a daily basis. So, but now this isn't just a daily basis. This cortisol is being released like so many times during the day, because we've got these stresses on top. And I did want to share that I, myself, completely underestimated the effects of stress and the effects it would have on my body. I can recall being a gym member a long time ago, before I was a trainer, and answering the questions like, what is your stress level? And here it is, between 1 to 10. And I was like, what is a stress level? I don't even know what that is. Like, I don't feel stressed. No. And then I had children. First of all, I had one child and I felt the stress levels come up a little bit. And then I had 2 children. And for me, 2 children was life-changing. And it wasn't so much that one was worse than the other or anything like that. But for me, the sheer volume of having 2 children and the stresses that involved and everything, postnatal depression thrown in there, the stress was enormous. So enormous that it came out physically in my body. And I know if people experience this and or understand this, and it comes out in different ways. For me, I actually had eczema all over my eyes and all around my mouth. That was one of the symptoms. And another one was heart palpitations. Now, those heart palpitations, I saw a cardiologist. I had every test under the sun done, because I was so worried about them. Thanks for everyone who's joining. And it wasn't anything. There was nothing structurally, physically wrong with me. The cardiologist said, you need to reduce your stress levels. So that actually stayed in my body. I had them for a couple of years. It took that long for my cortisol levels to reduce and my body to settle down. You know, I can even recall my osteo saying to me, Sarah, you need to get your sympathetic nervous system calm, because I was I was literally living with cortisol in my body all the time. And he was on saying, I had Chinese medicine, and we were saying, you're on the verge of adrenal fatigue here. And that's what it's like to live with chronic stress in that time. And so we're going to go into tips later about how to get through stress. And I'm just going to give you a bit more information now on what it does. So that's what it did to me. And I'm going to let you know some of the other things that it's done, what it can do for people. It obviously turns the cortisol on, but can actually turn other hormones on that can impact your genes, meaning you're at more risk for certain diseases, like switching those genes on and off. And also diseases, cancer, autoimmune disease, all sorts of things. So it can impair memory. It affects how much weight we're gaining, and particularly like where we're gaining that. And particularly like people will notice it around their midsection. Increases inflammation in the body, which again is another attack on the immune system, which is again related to the autoimmune conditions, but also more likely to catch your cold and flus. Like people that are stressed tend to get sick a lot, you know, and in those times when I was incredibly stressed, I had the flu, and I'd never had the flu in my life. Last year was probably on the borderline of getting through the stress. I had pneumonia, and I had sinus issues like for months and months and months and months. So your body's under more stress, more likely that inflammation is causing more issues in your body. So that's another thing that you'll notice. And also your gut. So people, some of us can relate to if you're feeling worried or anxious, you feel like you need to go to the toilet. Like, you know, that's a feeling that may come, but it can actually really affect the gut for people that can be constipated, diarrhea, even food sensitivities, bacterial overgrowth. So it can actually affect you on so many levels. And like I said, I had no concept that stress affected you so physically prior to being stressed in my life. So there are all the effects that I wanted to let you know about, and I'm sure there's probably even more, and some people may be on here and have experienced other things physically in their bodies, because it can come out in any way for any body. And now we're going to actually take some action and do some tips that I've used and ones that other people have used to help you move through those times. Because we're all faced with it. Let's be serious and realistic now. Everyone is going to be faced with stress. It's how we choose to move through that. So my first one is breath. Focus on breath. Even if we all stop right now, whether you're watching this now or you're watching this on the replay, and take a really big breath in through your belly. We'll do it in 1 second. I'll tell you why. So just want to explain what tends to happen is we breathe through our chest. That was another thing I remember my osteo telling me. He said I was having real issues around my diaphragm area because my stress levels was making me breathe through the top of my chest and not really doing that deep belly breathing, which actually helps center, ground you, and bring you back into your body. So we'll just take a nice deep breath in now, and a big one through the mouth. So take that big deep breath. And even holding for a few seconds. I'm talking, so I'm kind of breathing. And then you exhale out. And even holding again. So a good way for you to do that is even 5 in, 5 hold, 5 out, 5 hold, 5 times, or you can do the same thing with 7. It depends on what you feel comfortable with. So give 5 a go first. I like that one because it's that little bit less than achievable. Some people find it hard to hold for 7 seconds. Try 5, and that will help just bring you back down from the craziness of your chest breathing and the heart pumping. Stop and breathe, and that's a really good way if you are in a stressful situation where someone's wanting a response from you and you need to think about something, like you need to give an answer for something. So stop and breathe, and then say your answer. It'll give you time to, instead of just jumping in, and maybe you're a yes person and you just say yes, yes, you know, to whatever you get asked, just because I don't have to think about it, and just say yes. Take a breath and then say your answer when you've actually got that logic back in your brain. The next one is we do spend a lot of time in our head when we're stressed, overthinking everything. A good tool to do is to go out for a walk. So that's actually getting us moving in a gentle way. go out for a walk. Number one, you're outside in the fresh air. You've left your house where we're just in it, or whichever environment that is for you. Go outside, go for a walk. You're getting some sunshine as well, which we're going to get into light in a minute. But when you go for your walk, actually notice what's around you. Take a look, and that will get you out of your head. Otherwise, we're going to go for a walk and think, oh, this is happening and this is stressed about this, and on it goes. So when you're on your walk, notice the flowers, notice the houses that you're going by, just the birds, like whatever it is, just start noticing things that are out of your head. And describing something, if you've gone for a walk with someone and you really need to get out of your head and you think, oh, I just don't want to talk about this anymore, describing something, you can stop and actually, you can do it to yourself. Describe a flower that you see in detail. It's going to stop the thought processes and bring you present in the moment at what you're doing and what you're looking at. That's a great little tool that I love to do. The walk in itself I just think is amazing. Walking has become my new thing. I used to run all the time, and I had had osteitis pubis last year, and I haven't been able to run for 9 months or something. So I've been walking a lot, and it's so beautiful and it's so good. Getting outside in nature and feeling that, Mother Earth is beautiful. So much to be grateful for. And going on from gentle movement is to also exercise in itself. So doing some sort of exercise that does get your heart rate up a little bit, some sort of movement, what feels good for you. But exercise releases endorphins, and that's going to make us feel better. So when we're stressed, we tend to be just stuck in our head, stuck at home, or whatever it is, just in that like stress of it all. So taking that action, exercising, you release those endorphins and you feel better. And if you are on the scale of adrenal fatigue, sorry, I was slouching down there, strenuous exercise isn't necessarily going to be the best option for you. Some gentle movement, some walking, some yoga, otherwise you're going to put yourself in a higher state of releasing cortisol. So, speak to a practitioner about that. They'll know where you're sitting and what type of exercise you should be doing there. Then sunlight, because again, we're inside, we're stressed, and we're stuck under artificial blue light. And again, I talked about it the other day about, science is now backing the blue light. It's not good for our biorhythms. Getting outside in the sunlight, especially in the morning, and like your body registers that it's daylight and it sees the sun before it's as bright, and you can't just look in the direction of where it is, the horizon. So your eyes and the hormones are released that, hey, it is daylight now. It's time to be alert. Hormones change throughout it, and at nighttime, that's why turning the lights off. I've got bright lights on here so you guys can see, but turning the lights off, we use a lot of salt lamps and a lot of lamps just so it's more of that soft lighting and your body knows that you're winding down. And having those natural biorhythms will help release stress as well, because if we haven't got them, we can't sleep, and that's higher cortisol levels again, because insomnia is not fun. Then we're going to move on to meditation, however that looks for you. Now, I love the quote that the act of it is not actually hard, but finding the time, allocating, not finding, sorry, let's rephrase that. Allocating and prioritizing the time is what's the most challenging, and even for myself. That's why I like my breathing. And like I said, however it looks for you, whether you do 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever you want. I spoke to one of my girlfriends the other day, and she said she was just telling me it's changed her life. Doing it at the same time, on the same day, same time each night has really helped reduce her stress levels, and her anxiety. So it's a great tip. Baths are amazing. That is probably one of my favorite things to do personally, is to take a bath. You can put essential oils in there. What's it called? Epsom salts. What's the name of that? Epsom salts help do a detox at the same time. Put some candles on, put some nice music on, and that will just, being in the warm water, your body relaxes, and that's what we're after. We're after things that's going to relax your body. Laughter. have some fun, watch a fun movie, put something like, if I'm in that mood, I was like, I really need to watch something, like for me, it's like a romantic comedy because I love those. And I've got a couple of favorites and they just crack you up. And, you know, or that old saying, smile till you feel happy. Because when we walk around like this and we're stressed and we're just like, oh, smile until you feel happy. Get on the phone to someone who you know always makes you laugh. Because laughter, I mean, we all know laughter makes us feel awesome. So that's going to help increase the endorphins again and reduce the stress hormones. Dance and be silly. I love to dance. The kids and I, you know, I love it. They bust out moves. It doesn't matter where we are. I can be in the middle of Coles and Lockie will start doing his little moves. I'm like, yes, let's do it. Dancing's fun. Being silly creates the play in your life. Gratitude. Now, that I was going to talk about that one. I think I might have mentioned it in another live, that was something in my darkest times of being incredibly stressed and postnatal depression and feeling anxious, is gratitude. So I would write down 3 things that I was grateful for, because as we know, and I said it before, and repetition is always going to help sink it in our mind more, that there is always something to be grateful for. Always. The fact that we're breathing, we've got food on our table, you know, we've got a roof over our head, which is more than half the world, or more than half the world, you know, like there is always something. You can find it. Even if you've got to dig a little bit hard on those days where you're feeling the darkest, you will find something. And I get it, because I've been there in those days where I can't think of anything. And I really have to just take a moment back and just really breathe into it again and realize there is always something there. So gratitude is just one of the fundamentals for me. That's what I go to. And I'm going to also touch on sleep again. We went through it before, so let's touch on a little bit. Not getting enough sleep is going to raise your cortisol levels, 100%. You know, I said last night I was feeling tired because I've been with my family and had an amazing time, but was up later, and I already feel better today from prioritizing going to bed after I spoke to you guys last night, did a little bit of reading, went to bed. So feeling so much better. And I know when I was, again, those stress levels are probably higher at that time when I had 2 little children, so I was getting a lot less sleep. So sleep prioritized. Now, also alcohol, mindless scrolling, all these things are not going to help with our stress levels. Following people on social media that bring out comparison in you and that make you more feel like, if you're looking at your phone and you're scrolling through and you're feeling more stressed when you get off the phone, get off it. Not just get off it, but if you're wanting to look at inspiring things, delete those accounts. Delete the accounts that don't make you feel good. It's not worth following them. I follow inspirational people, some fitness people, amazing food, because I'm obsessed with looking at food. You know, I love it. It's so good. But just delete those people. You do not need that in your life. So that's a big one on social media. Follow people that inspire you. And I've got my little quote now for the end. I'm going to talk a little bit after about this quote. Don't carry your mistakes around with you. Place them under your feet as stepping stones to the new you and to your journey, because your mistakes do not define you. Our mistakes, that's why I'm going into it now, are what cause us stress, because we're either living in the past, thinking about them, or we're worrying about the future of recreating them again. Yeah, they do not serve you and just cause you more pain. So let go of them. Instead of carrying that bag around with you and telling everybody your story of the mistakes you've made, it's time to put that bag down. Let it go, move on, and live in that now. Yeah, because really, when we're in that stress state, we're really living in what's happened or what's going to happen. Yeah, on my hands like this, what's going to happen, what's happening, you guys can't see. So I love that quote, and I'm going to leave that with you guys tonight. Tomorrow night is cleaning out your fridge, and I love that quote too, Heather. It's just so good. There's quite a few like that, but I like to talk about it. I say to people a lot of times, take time to let the bag down, because that bag weighs you down. So yeah, tomorrow night's on cleaning out your cupboard. So how to really clear out your home from the stuff that you don't need in your cupboards. Also, the products, like really looking at not only what we're putting in our mouth, but what we're putting on our body as well, and how that affects us. And then there's only one more after that, and I think that's going to be a goodie at the end. We're talking about emotional eating, self-sabotage. We're going to talk about beliefs and how they relate to all of it. It's going to be a goodie. I love that topic because really mindset is the key to all the information I'm giving you. Yeah, it's all about how we think. I'm going to leave that with you guys tonight. I have no idea how long I've gone for today. Much love to everyone. And remember, if you're enjoying the content, share it, because that's actually another way for you to save it on your page, is to share it. So it's on your own page and you can scroll down through it. Share it with anyone you think is going to get a lot of value. I know a lot of people get a lot of value out of tonight's one, or out of all of them really. They're all different topics. So share it, share it, share it. Send me some love. Ask me any questions, and have an amazing Good Friday, what's left of it, and Easter, and I'll speak to you all tomorrow night.